Live from KSAT 12, the 6 o'clock news starts right now.
A new year, but an old problem has one family counting their blessings tonight.
Yeah, a family in Northeast Bexar County had a bullet lodged in their ceiling, and from what they think was someone celebrating the start of 2023 by shooting into the air.
John Paul Baraja spoke to the family and has this message for the person responsible.
It's a New Year's tradition for many, popping fireworks to ring in the new year. Unfortunately, some substitute a firecracker for a firearm pointed at the sky.
Shooting in the air because they want to celebrate New Year's Eve, having no clue where that's going to go.
For Adam Hansen and his family, a bullet went through his roof. They didn't know about it until they saw drywall on the ground because of the barrage of pops from fireworks. They're thankful no one in the family of four was hurt, but are still shaken up at what could have been.
They're obviously freaked out, right? They've never seen anything like this.
The Hansens' living room is a common area, as is in most households. Mom uses the couch to relax, read, and have some me time. The kids use Connect 4, as well as they have their video game console set up right here. But they're grateful the bullet didn't fully penetrate the roof. That's why this ladder's here. Dad actually had to climb up there and pull the bullet out himself.
As expensive as ammo is, you think that he would use fireworks over ammo, especially the Lord's round being the .45.
Hansen filed a report with the Bexar County Sheriff's Office, who took the bullet to see if they can track down who it belongs to. He also has a message for the person who pulled the trigger.
Don't be stupid with a firearm. Be responsible, right? Don't make other gun owners look bad.
John Paul Barajas, KSAT 12 News.
Looks good.
New at 6, a family of seven lost their home to a fire, but they say they are overwhelmed by the outpouring of support they've received. Community members are doing everything they can to help the Guzman family get back on their feet. Camelia Juarez with what the family says they found the most helpful.
3 hours into the new year, the San Antonio Fire Department was called to this home on the 2600 block of Pebble Bow. The fire was caused by an electric spark in the back shed and quickly spread to the house. Everyone in the family of 7 made it out safely.
Everybody's okay, thank God.
The homeowner, Heidi Guzman, says since the fire, dozens of neighbors, church members, and homeschool groups rushed to the Guzman family's home, offering food, clothes, and to clean up damage.
Everybody is like pitching in. Don't worry about this, Haiti. I'll take care of this for you. The love has been overwhelming.
Community members say they wanted to help out because the Guzman family is so generous to others.
We do our lives together, and so we wanted to be out here to do whatever we could to support them because they're such a wonderful part of our lives.
I didn't know that I was so loved by so many people. Yeah.
The Guzmans were not the only ones who got out safely. Their 3 dogs and cat also made it out safely. Now these kennels, some food supplies were also donated by neighbors.
Guzman is working with her insurance to find a new place to stay and says the best support came from
Prayers.
Camelia Juarez, KSAT 12 News.
Well, another fire forced a man from his home early this morning near downtown when his side of a duplex was damaged by a fire that started in the adjoining vacant unit. Flames broke out along North Colorado Street a little before 3 o'clock. Firefighters were able to take care of the fire, but the damage was bad enough that the man who lived there couldn't stay. The Red Cross was called out to help him find a place to go. So far, investigators have not determined the cause of that fire.
We now know the name of a man accused of opening fire on a San Antonio police officer who was responding to a family disturbance call over the weekend. According to the Bexar County Jail records, 31-year-old Isaiah Mata fired at the officer late New Year's Eve in the 6100 block of Rose Valley. Officers say Mata started shooting as the officer approached the house. The officer was luckily not hit. A police chopper helped officers catch up to Mata in a wooded area behind the house. He's charged with unlawful carry of a weapon, assault causing bodily injury to a family member, and aggravated assault of a public servant.
New at 6, National Civil Rights Attorney Ben Crump has been called to represent the family of Joshua Wright.
We want the truth.
Wright was shot and killed on December 12th after attempting to escape police custody at a Kyle hospital where he was receiving treatment. Crump met with the Wright family this afternoon in San Marcos. They allege the 36-year-old was shot in the back multiple times while his ankles were still shackled. The Combined Law Enforcement Association of Texas, or CLEAT, claims Wright grabbed a sharp medical instrument and ran towards staff and civilians. Crump and attorney Chevo Pastrano are calling on the Hays County Sheriff's Office to release video of the shooting.
Isn't that the reason we have police body camera video? So we don't have to hypothesize about what happened. No, we can sit with our own eyes. We don't need anybody to interpret anything for us.
These shackles are made to prevent escape. These shackles are made to make it almost impossible to run.
Wright was in jail on charges including unauthorized use of a motor vehicle, failure to appear, reckless driving, criminal mischief, and evading arrest. The Hays County correctional officer who shot Wright has not been publicly named yet. KSAT has asked county officials when the video might be released, but we have not heard back.
It was a sleeve of cash. New at 6, New Braunfels police searching for a pair of suspects in a brazen daylight bank robbery, but it's an unusual bank robbery. A police spokesman says a technician working on an ATM at the RBFCU on Highway 46, it's across from an HEB, when a man in a hoodie ran up and snatched that cartridge with cash in it and ran away. Police say he didn't threaten the tech or display a gun. He hopped in a waiting car and sped away. Other than the hoodie, police didn't offer a description of the suspect or the getaway car. They also didn't tell us just how much cash he got away with. A Leon Valley man doing some police work of his own after his work van was broken into overnight. Dwayne Arrington says he noticed his stuff had been stolen around 4:30 this morning. That included his AirPods. He says he used the Find My app on his iPhone to find those AirPods at a Love's Travel stop on I-35 near Fisher Road. He went there, tells us he found 5 people sleeping in an SUV. As he called police, some of those people got out of the SUV and tried to run away. Arrington says he tackled one of them as they were reaching for a gun.
As I got closer to him, I saw that he was reaching for something in his pocket, and it turned out to be it looked like a small caliber gun.
Now, tackling a guy with a gun, probably not advised.
Yeah, don't
but
do
when police got there, they did arrest 4 of the suspects. A 5th got away in the SUV. Police recovered the AirPods and other items believed to have been stolen from other vehicles, all in Leon Valley.
Well, the new year brings new judges to our area. One of those judges being 186th Criminal District Court Judge Christina Escalona. We sat down with the new judge to talk about her new role at the Justice Center.
Jesse Castilla.
Christina Escalona is no stranger to the Kadena Reeves Justice Center, having worked 4 years at the district attorney's office right after graduating from St. Mary's University Law School, then as a criminal defense attorney.
And after that experience, it opened my eyes. It made me a better person. It made me a better attorney. And then I took that experience and I returned to the DA's office.
She has been at the DA's office since then, but knew it was time to try a new role, criminal district court judge.
Once I realized and saw the role that a judge could have, having someone stand right in front of them, looking into their eyes, and having such an impact on their life and the life of the community that I was born and raised in, quickly became something I wanted to do, and it quickly became a goal and a dream of mine.
That dream was inspired by her parents, who at times worked several jobs to give Christina and her brother the best education possible.
I always saw what hard work could do and what hard work could accomplish through my parents.
And with tears and pride in their eyes, they stood right beside Judge Escalona as she was sworn in as the new 186th Criminal District Court Judge.
I promise I will work every day.
Judge Escalona is now ready for the hard work to begin.
What I hope to accomplish in the 186 is I hope to accomplish justice.
For more on courts and court coverage this year, sign up for the Open Court newsletter. Just go to KSAT.com.
All right, let's check out Trans Guide. At 5 o'clock, I said you want evidence that it's a holiday. Well, this is also evidence of that. This is 90 at Couples, and you can see there are people out on the road, but it's very light, especially compared to the average work day at this time in this area.
Yeah, and as we take a live look outside with live cam, this is just, it's 78 degrees. And the beginning of the new year. This just seems like something's not right.
Yeah, definitely warmer than average. In fact, we were just 4 degrees shy of a record high today with high temperatures in the low 80s. Not so great news, though, is that we're in the middle of mountain cedar season, and mountain cedar is high today, past 7,000, down from yesterday, but still an issue. The aquifer is down 0.2 of a foot over the past 24 hours, and outside right now, still 80 degrees at the airport. Winds are calm, but tonight we're going to be seeing the 70s by 8 p.m. Light and variable wind, a bit muggy in the 60s, but tonight, a cool front arrives after midnight, and although it's not going to feel like winter outside, it is going to feel a lot better because of that cool front. I'll give you those details coming up in just a bit.
Thank you, Sarah. Thousands flocking to the Vatican to pay respects to Pope Benedict as he lies in state inside St. Peter's Basilica. The Vatican police say some 65,000 people have come so far to pay homage following the Pope Emeritus's death on New Year's Eve. The remains of Pope Benedict's body will lie in state on Tuesday and Wednesday. Pope Francis will lead Benedict's funeral on Thursday, which is scheduled to take place at 2:30 a.m. San Antonio time. Coming up tonight on the Night Beat, Uvalde School District starting the new year on high alert. Police say they got a call about a stranger on campus. Tonight we speak with Uvalde's police chief, parents, and the school district about today's concern on campus. And San Antonio skyline, it's unique. I love it. Now, one building that's been here for nearly a century is set to undergo a transformation, though. The New Year's discussion on what will change and what will remain the same at the Tower Life building. Those stories and more tonight on the Night Beat.
Well, it is a dream come true for an impressive local teen. She opened a restaurant with her sister and parents by her side. She shows Tiffany Huertas how love and family played a big part in the restaurant's success.
For the holidays, we are selling tamales and menudo, barbacoa, of course. Those tamales will be ready.
It's been a busy holiday season at this barbacoa shop off De Zavala Road near Babcock Road in the Northwest Side. When Sarah Hernandez was just 15 years old, she decided to start this business to bring a touch of her home to this side of town.
We put a lot of care and love into it. Like, we want to show that we can use our own food and voice to spread love.
Now 19 years old, she is the CEO of her restaurant, Sarah's Barbacoa. The restaurant opened in March 2019. Sarah's sister, Rebecca Hernandez, 23 years old, is the CFO.
So our barbacoa cooks for about 13 or 14 hours overnight. That's how long it takes to cook it, to get it to the perfection that it is.
Sarah says they make the food with love. And what makes this barbacoa so special? It's a family recipe.
It was passed down through my great-grandma, who is Sarah as well.
We're always checking everything. We're making the menudo, the tamales, everything. Everything goes in with with love.
Sarah says working with family makes this extra special.
I just love my sister a lot.
And while it's been a roller coaster ride since opening, Sarah says she's glad she did it.
Sometimes things don't sell, and sometimes we sell out the entire thing. And it's an interesting way to go through life. It's an experience.
To other teens with big dreams, Sarah has a message.
To believe in yourself, obviously. Your dreams can go far, and even with your family or with your friends or people that you trust, it's possible to make your own dreams come true.
Tiffany Huertas, KSAT 12 News.
That restaurant now on my to-do list.
Yeah,
Go to Sarah's Barbacoa.
I love that message. Believe in yourself.
Obviously, she said. Which
obviously.
Is, yeah,
come on, we all know.
I
that.
love her.
All right, it is warm out there, and I'm just happy we're not in the danger zone that part of Texas is with the weather tonight, Sarah.
Absolutely, because there are parts of Texas, especially northeast Texas, that could experience some tornadoes later on tonight. We'll talk a little bit more about that right now. I want to show you the radar, though, as we start, because even though we're not seeing any rain in San Antonio, there are a few very light rain showers in parts of Guadalupe County, right near Geronimo. An isolated stray shower is possible tonight as we await for a weak cold front to move through. through. And we need that cool front to cool us down, okay? The average high temperature right now this time of year is right around 63 degrees as we start January. Yesterday, the average high was 63. Today, the average high is 63. By the end of the month, we don't see temperatures go up all that much. 65 for the high, low temperature right around 42. January is also a pretty dry month, one of our driest months. We only see on average a little bit less than 2 inches of rainfall. And cool fronts become more common in January, but not today. The high temperature was 82 degrees today in San Antonio. Look at these highs down in Pleasanton. It was 88, 90 in Carrizo Springs. It was 91 in Cotulla, 84 in New Braunfels, even in the upper 70s across the hill country. Warmer than average by nearly 20 degrees in San Antonio. And we're going to see temperatures cool down a little bit over the coming days, but we're still going to remain above average in the afternoons. Our high tomorrow will be 75, and in fact, the coolest we'll get over the next 7 days is on Sunday, when we'll still be just barely above average. So we're in for a bit of a mild stretch as we start 2023. Showing you the weather setup right now, and Houston is getting some shower activity right now, but really the area across Texas that is under the gun for severe weather is northeast Texas up toward Arkansas and into parts of northern Louisiana. This is all a part of this bigger low pressure system, which is pretty dynamic. It's bringing snow across parts of the plains and the northern Rockies. But again, Texarkana, Little Rock, even eastern Oklahoma could see some tornadoes tonight ahead of this dry line. Thankfully, here in San Antonio, we're not under the gun for any of that kind of severe weather or any real significant rain as well. But as we look off to the west, there's a cool front here. And although it's not going to drop our temperatures by that much, it is going to bring in some refreshingly dry air. You know, today was pretty humid outside. That low 80s felt like the mid 80s in some places. And so as we look at the future cast, dew points are in the 60s right now, which is very sticky, but by midnight that front will be on our door pushing through. If you happen to be outside at around midnight, you'll definitely feel those winds turning to the north, and humidity will come down into the 20s and 30s by the day tomorrow. So with a lower humidity in place, that's going to allow us to cool down more in the mornings before sunrise. And so over the next several days, you're going to want the jacket in the morning hours, especially Wednesday through Friday. Temperatures are going to be in the low 40s around that time. I don't anticipate a freeze, but still something to keep in mind. Looking ahead to the KSAT 12-hour forecast, tomorrow we'll be looking at temperatures rebounding from the 50s into the 70s by noon, and around 4 or 5 p.m., 75 for the high temperature in San Antonio. Here's a look at highs tomorrow in your neighborhood. It'll be 77 in Eagle Pass, 75 in Gonzales, 78 in Beeville, 75 in Canyon Lake, 73 in Kerrville, 75 in Rio Medina, 77 in New Braunfels and Seguin, and 75 in Uvalde. Yeah, there could be a shower tonight in some spots, but not going to be amounting to much rain at all. And again, tomorrow will be breezy, low humidity in the coming days. A slightly better chance for rain over the weekend, but still just outside of our 2020 vision. We want to be able to refine that forecast for you, but it looks like Sunday, that's the best chance for rain.
And with these small fronts, are we expecting that to change the cedar count?
It's probably going to go up, Courtney, unfortunately, with that northern wind.
Prepare.
Ouch.
Ouch is right.
Yeah. All right. Spurs head to the East Coast.
Yes.
Are they healthy for this trip?
Yeah, more healthy than not. I'll tell you what, over the past course of how many weeks at the start of the season, a lot of injuries. But now tonight, Devin Vassell is back here. And when it comes to Trey Jones, we see a lot of Tony Parker in him, especially when it comes to sacrificing his body in the lane. And faced with the most in his career, do interceptions have Dak Prescott second-guessing himself on the field coming up? The Spurs face the Nets tonight in Brooklyn. They got some good news this afternoon. After missing the last 2 games with soreness in his left knee, Devin Vassell will be available tonight. They will need Devin and then some when they face one of the beasts of the East at the second-best record in the Eastern Conference, the exact opposite of the Spurs. In fact, the Spurs will be in the Big Apple for 4 days since they have to face the Knicks on Wednesday night in the Garden. The Silver and Black are buoyed by the fact they were able to beat the Knicks at home 122-115 and barely lost to the Dallas Mavericks 126-125, even with Luka Doncic scoring 51 points. Trey Jones had the opportunity to tie the game at 126, but missed a free throw down the stretch. But his play this season has really been impressive as a Spurs starting point guard, giving up his body to get to the basket when he can't find an open teammate. Playing that fearlessly means more time in the training room.
You know, it comes with it. It comes with, 82 games a season and, playing hard every single night. But, I wouldn't trade it for anything. It's always been my dream, since I can remember. And so, I'll do anything to be in this position.
He's crazy fast, and he's a great player. I think, that combination helps you a lot. He's great, and, it's not only finishing, but also the way he drives and, finds others, so, no, he's great. He's great, and he helps us a lot.
All right, tip-off up in Brooklyn just a matter of minutes from now, 6:30. Highlights for you tonight on the Night Beats.
Pro football coverage powered by Davis Law Firm.
Dallas Cowboys have a chance to win the NFC East in the last week of the regular season, but in order to do so, several things have to happen. First, the Cowboys have to beat the Commanders in Washington, and they will need for the Eagles, who are expecting Jalen Hurts to play this weekend, to lose to the New York Giants. And if that's not enough, Dak Prescott has to protect the ball better if the Cowboys are going to have much success even in the postseason. In the win over the Titans last Thursday, Prescott threw 2 more interceptions in the 27-13 victory. That gives Prescott a career high in interceptions with 14. And remember, he missed 5 games with a fractured thumb he picked up in the season opener against Tampa Bay. His previous high came in 2017 with 13, but that was with nearly 500 pass attempts compared to just 357 this year.
It's frustrating, but there's nothing I can do about it the same sense. So, it might be frustrating, but by the time that I'd say a minute after I've sat down on the sideline, I've got it out of my head. I've said my words I needed to say to myself, and just have moved on at that point. So, it is frustrating, as I said. Whether it's off your guy's hands or whether I throw it behind the receiver and he makes the play, and the cornerback makes the play, they're all frustrating, and somehow or another, they've got to stop.
All right, given the fact he has now thrown at least 1 interception in his last 6 straight games, does he worry that this is going to continue to plague him going into the final game of the regular season and now the playoffs?
No, I don't worry about that. I don't sit there and think of that. Oh, this is going to continue to happen. As much as anything, I've got to fix the ones on my end, and I've just got to make sure that the guys on the receivers and everybody that may take part in them are just focused and understand that we don't got a lot of opportunities. And as we move forward, this last game and all these playoff games, every drive matters, and we have to play every play, every drive like it's to win the game, and that's the reality of it when you get into the postseason.
All right, the Cowboys will travel to Washington where they'll face the Commanders Sunday. That time is now set for 3:25 p.m. It's kind of like a golfer, that second guesses himself, has the yips when he's putting. It's almost that way. And you go, so what's going on?
You need to have a short memory.
Very.
Yeah.
Very.
Thanks, Greg.
All right, coming up, the suspect in the quadruple murder in Idaho could be back in that state to face charges sooner rather than later. When prosecutors say they can release more information about the murders, that's coming up next. The suspect in the killing of 4 University of Idaho students plans to waive his extradition at a hearing this week in his home state of Pennsylvania, which may expedite his return to Idaho. Isabel Rosales tells us what the suspect's attorney is saying, plus what someone who knew the suspect has revealed about his behavior around the time of the killings.
Nearly 7 weeks since the stabbing deaths of 4 young students rocked their college community in Idaho, the suspect, 28-year-old Brian Koberger, is facing 4 counts of first-degree murder.
It was just totally jarring, totally shocking to realize that this person that had been, kind of grading my papers was, allegedly this horrible murderer.
The suspect's behavior seemed to take a turnaround during the time of the murders. That's according to an undergraduate student at Washington State University, where Koberger was a PhD student. He says Koberger looked and acted differently in class.
He had a little bit more facial hair, just stubble, but definitely less well kept than he was. It was he didn't really want to be there. That was at an all-time high. And he just, didn't look like he was doing great.
Investigators say they received a flood of calls, more than 400, within an hour of announcing an arrest in the case. Authorities still have not publicly confirmed a possible motive or if the suspect knew the victims. An FBI team surveilled Koberger for days during a cross-country trip back home with his father around Christmas.
He's doing okay. He's shocked a little bit.
Koberger's attorney emphasizing his client should be presumed innocent until proven otherwise. Words echoed by Koberger's family, who say they have fully cooperated with law enforcement. Writing in a statement, "We care deeply for the 4 families who have lost their precious children. There are no words that can adequately express the sadness we feel." I'm Isabel Rosales reporting.
And police in Moscow, Idaho have not found the murder weapon yet. They still say the state law limits what information can be released until Koberger makes his first appearance in an Idaho court. When that happens, the probable cause affidavit, which details the facts leading to his charges, will be unsealed. That's all according to a county prosecutor.
In news around America, we're going to talk about Alzheimer's. The Food and Drug Administration expected to announce this week whether it will give accelerated approval of an experimental new treatment. Lecanemab is one of the first experimental dementia drugs that appears to slow the progression of cognitive decline. Accelerated approval allows for earlier approval of drugs that treat serious conditions and fill an unmet medical need. Phase 3 trials indicate lecanemab has shown potential as an Alzheimer's treatment, but there are also safety concerns. It's been associated with certain serious adverse events like brain swelling and bleeding.
Well, it's another first for Elon Musk, but probably not the one he wanted to achieve. The CEO of Tesla, SpaceX, and Twitter has lost more wealth than anyone in history. That's according to Bloomberg Billionaires Index. Musk's net worth at its peak last year was $340 billion, and now it's $137 billion. Still not too shabby.
Yeah, not bad.
Yeah, I wouldn't worry about that. That makes Musk, though, the first person to lose $200 billion in wealth. The bulk of Musk's wealth is tied up in Tesla, whose stock plunged 65% last year. Demand for Teslas weakened as competition in electric vehicles surged.
The Vatican releasing more details about the upcoming funeral of Pope Emeritus Benedict XVI. We're learning the funeral will happen overnight Thursday. The 95-year-old will be buried immediately afterwards in a crypt where more than 90 popes have been laid to rest. Meantime, as Faith Abube reports, tens of thousands of mourners continue lining up to see the former pope one final time as he lies in state inside St. Peter's Basilica.
A steady stream of mourners filing into St. Peter's Basilica all day to see Pope Emeritus Benedict XVI lying in state. Some of the mourners taking photos of the former pope's body, there on a bier with pillows, adorned with a bishop headgear and a rosary in his hands.
You could feel the emotions he had before he died. That's what my impression was.
Christine Johnson is visiting from California.
I'm very emotional. My daughter was born right when he became pope.
Papal admirers and grieving Catholics expected to continue joining the queue to pay their final respect until the former pope's funeral on Thursday. Vatican security estimates about 65,000 people came by to see the late pontiff on Monday alone. Benedict XVI served as the leader of the Catholic Church for just under 8 years. He stunned the world in 2013 when he stepped down from the lifetime position, citing his declining health. It was the first resignation of a pope in 600 years. The 95-year-old admired for his traditional teachings and conservative leadership, but also criticized for not doing more after the sex abuse scandal that rocked the church. He eventually met with the sex abuse victims and publicly acknowledged their trauma. His death now setting up a historic moment where current pope will preside over his predecessor's funeral mass. And Pope Emeritus Benedict XVI will be buried in St. Peter's crypt immediately after his funeral on Thursday. It's unclear at this point whether any officials from the U.S. will attend in a private capacity, since the Italians and Germans are the only two official delegations invited to the funeral. In Washington, Faith Abube, ABC News.
All right, still ahead, 2022 was a lot of things, but it was not boring. Why some are saying 2023 will be just as, if not more, interesting. That's next.